out of those films that you try to watch today, and you go, Jesus, I don't know if you could ever do this. Like, there's so many films that you try to watch today. Like, I just watched Superbad the other day.
Yeah.
That is so dope, man. Listen, if y'all own any restaurants or something, send me T-shirts so I can wear them. I am a large, but I like to wear medium so that I can show off the guns. But, you know what I mean? Like, he got on the Terry, what's that say? Terry Buck's Barbecue, Austin, Texas. That's so dope, man. Let me go ahead and put your restaurant on the map, man.
And I'm like, man, I don't even know if you could do Superbad today. And that's not even that long ago.
Well, I don't believe in that kind of statement, because the thing about it is, I think that statement is a kind of self-fulfilling prophecy. If you say it's going to be a problem, it's going to be a problem. All right, because it comes with usually the idea, well, I don't know if they would let you do that. Well, who the fuck is they?
Well, you say that.
Who is
Quentin
they?
Tarantino.
Who is they?
Quentin Tarantino in 1991.
Well, okay, yeah. Well, I'm Quentin Tarantino in 1991 doing Reservoir Dogs, coming off of the 80s, which was the decade of they won't let you do that.
That's true.
And I remember, like, okay, for instance, I'll give you an example. So I'm working at Video Archives, and now, by the way, that whole horrible time. And by the way, we're going through the 80s part 2 right now, except there's more of a McCarthy-esque blacklist aspect to it than was in the 80s. The 80s seemed very, people were doing it to themselves.
And shout out to Tarantino, man. This guy, oh my gracious, Quentin Tarantino, this dude is one of the most remarkable movie makers there ever was. If you tell him there was no line, I mean, there was a line that he couldn't cross, he will piss on that line. He will literally take his dingling out and Louis C.K. that line and make up his own line. This dude is disrespectful. It's like, what do you mean you telling me I can't do this? So I was doing in the 80s what they said not to do in the 70s. I was doing in the 60s what they said you better not do no more. Like, this, he's serious, bro. Also, if you like this style of content, please do me a favor, hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so that when we put out new content, you'll be first to be notified. And if you want to see a lot more of music reactions on this channel, just go and add LFR Family Plus channel. Subscribe there, and that's where everything will be, all right? All the newer uploads for music.
Where here is, no, people are doing it to you. But I remember, okay, so in the 80s, this is only happening in America. In the other countries, they were making bold, wild cinema. The Hong Kong movies were off the chart. Pedro Almodovar was like making his wild sex comedies. Amazing. Anyway, so Pedro Almodovar had a movie called Matador with Antonio Banderas that came out. Very funny movie. The movie starts, the opening credits, is a guy sitting in a chair in his living room with his pants down around his ankles. And he's jerking off. And what he's jerking off to are the most bloody, violent scenes in slasher movies. He's got like all his favorite moments from slasher movies of women getting murdered, all cut together, and he's jerking off. And that's the opening credits. And it's just like...
Could you imagine? Could you imagine? That's art. That is art. I'm all for it if it's on a movie, man. The nastier the better, the crazier the better. If it's a movie, it's a movie, huh? Because I like when art imitates life, not life imitating art. And I don't want anybody to see that and be like, oh, I want to do that. Nah, man, that's just no.
And that's the opening credits. And it's just like, there was like nothing like that available in America. They're like, oh my God, this is the wildest ever, man. This is amazing. And so I remember I was like sitting at Video Archives and I was saying, well, I want to do that when I'm making movies. And then one of the guys said, well, they won't let you, Quentin. And my answer was, well, who's they?
Who's they?
Who are they to tell me what I can and can't do, can or cannot do?
Thank you. Thank you. You know, I love community guidelines. I swear I do. But I think they are they. And they be trying to tell me what to react to. Listen. They can't tell me what to do. Yes, you can. No, you can't. No, you can't. I'm going to stand. I'm going to fight the power, Jack.
And at the end of the day, the proof is in the pudding. I never let they stop me. I did what I wanted to do. And by doing what I wanted to do, we changed the 90s. The 90s stopped being politically correct. And all of a sudden, like in 1 year, Reservoir Dogs, El Mariachi, Man Bites Dog, Romeo is Bleeding. I mean, all these like wild, wild, ironic, violent movies started coming out that just didn't exist in 1989.
It's so true.
And then comes Seven, and then it's like we built a bridge, and then everyone followed it. Everyone went over the bridge.
Was there any resistance? Like when you wrote Reservoir Dogs and people are going over it, were there any people that wanted to water it down or censor it or say it'd be more marketable if maybe you took certain scenes out? Or
well, there was in script form, a lot of the violent stuff just kind of went over their heads because they just kind of saw it as a play. There's violent stuff, but they were just talking about how much talking was in it. But when I finished it and had been on the film festival circuit with it for a year, when Miramax bought it, Harvey tried to talk me into cutting the torture scene out. With Mr. Blonde and the guy in the chair and
getting
the
his ear cut off.
Yeah. He tried to talk me out of that, and his reasoning was he might ended up being right. All right, his reasoning was, look, Quentin, this is a movie that anybody can watch, but with that torture scene, you're gonna alienate women. They're not going to want to see this. So you're putting your own movie in a little box. But without that scene, anybody can go and see this movie, and everybody will enjoy it. And that's kind of actually where I became me, because Harvey was used to winning these type of arguments, and he had a bunch of yes men going, yeah. But because I had actually been on the film festival circuit for an entire year. One, I saw that he was right, because people were always walking out during that scene. Sometimes it would be 5, sometimes it would be 35.
He said one. I saw that he was right, but you know what? He decided that was the hill he was going down. Like, my creativity is worth it. I don't care. I'm not taking this out. It's staying. It's staying. It's staying. And I'm glad it stayed.
All right. They were always walking out. Because also it's a film festival. You don't exactly know what you're seeing. You read it in the catalog. It sounds interesting. It's not like, it's not like you're being set up the way you are when a movie opens theatrically.
Right.
But I did know that, that was the moment of truth for most people, that scene. But now I think it's the best scene in the movie. So, and I had spent a year watching it. So I wasn't buffaloed. And I go, well, it's that movie. It's what the movie is. And, you may be right, but I don't care. This is the movie, and it has that scene. And Harvey realized he wasn't going to get his way, and he's used to getting his way. I stood fast, and there was like a beat of like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, we're going to leave the scene in, and I want you to remember that it was Miramax who left it alone.
Wow. That's an interesting way to control the situation, right? To take it and bring it all back to him. How weird is it for you?
Wow. He said, look, we're financing this, and I want you to understand that we allowed this to happen, man. You remember that. Remember that. We allowed this to happen, brother. All right? Hey, man, that was dope. I want to hear what you all have to say about this in the comments below. If you have yet to hit that subscribe button, please make sure y'all leave a message. I done messed up everything. Subscribe to the channel. I'll see y'all next time. Love you.